Now back in session. Now the floor is given to the co-prosecutors to put more questions to the witness. You may now proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good afternoon, Mr. Witness. We were talking about the people who were other members in the longsword group with you. I'd like to ask you at this point, what was your position in the longsword group?
I was responsible for patrolling the paddy fields and the villages.
Mr. Witness, there are two other members of the longsword group who have given some evidence about your position and indicated that at some point you were a chairman or a group chairman in the longsword group. Specifically, Tai Kim Hun, who has testified at this trial, in his OCIJ interview, E3/5257, Khmer ERN 00243-105, English 00251-018, French 00342-670, gave the following testimony. Question: who was your direct superior in the militia? Answer: Dun. The witness whose statement I provided to you this morning, Mr. President, has also made a statement about this witness, and I think it would be appropriate for this witness also to be have an opportunity to respond to that. So with your leave, I would also like to ask about answers 4 and 6 in that interview, E319/19.3.226.
The floor is given to Judge Laven.
Yes, co-prosecutor, could you first remind us of the references of the document that you would like to use? That is to say, the WRI of the witness that you intend to use. And can you also tell me that if among the other documents that are on the list, on the interface, I don't really remember the name, but the list or the interface, are there other documents that you intend to use in the examination of this witness, which the chamber has not yet ruled upon?
Let me answer your last question first. This is the only document that is part of that pending Rule 87-4 motion that I intend to use with my time. And that document is the same one that was given to the witness just before lunch. So it is E319/19.3 3.226, and specifically answers number 4 and 6 of that interview. I also note, looking at the interface today, that the Nunche defense has also listed that document to be used today, and I think they would, if I don't ask this question, I think he would want to ask this question too. I see him nodding. So. But I think that the objections of the Q-Sempan defense to this are primarily procedural. If whatever the court ultimately rules on this, I think it's appropriate at this time for this witness to respond.
President, the chamber give the floor to Judge Lavange to rule on a document that the international co-prosecutor wish to use to ask the witness among the various documents he put in September 2015. So, Judge Lavange, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Well, during the lunch break, the chamber checked, and indeed the request that was filed in September regarding the request to have a certain number of documents admitted in September is still pending. However, this decision is going to be ruled upon very soon. So for this reason, and in order to avoid delaying the examination of this witness, the chamber decides to admit the written record of interview E319/19.3.206, unless it's, is it 206 or 226?
226.
So 226, therefore, and the grounds for this decision will be forwarded to you in due course.
President, the floor is now given to counsels for Kilsampon.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I would like to reassure you that I'm not going to comment on the decision, but simply to backtrack a little bit before the co-prosecutor continues with the document that has just been ruled upon. Regarding the previous question, I'm sorry that I wasn't able to rise before, but I needed to check this particular point I'm going to present now. So the co-prosecutor was speaking about a WRI by Teng Ki-moon. It was a written statement that was taken by the investigators, but this witness already testified before the chamber and provided a different version of the events, or in any case of his supposed knowledge of this current witness. So I think that quoting the written statement of the witness without referring to his statement before the chamber on the 16th of September 2015 in document E1/348.1. This was a little bit before 11:08 in the morning and 40 seconds. And in fact, yes, indeed, he was confronted with the portion that the co-prosecutor mentioned regarding his knowledge of Dun, and this is what Teng Ki-moon answered. I heard people speak about Dun, but I do not know, and I wouldn't be able, I'm sorry, to recognize him. I don't know what he looked like. So the question that was put to him afterwards was the following: was he your superior? And his answer was the following: no, he was. My superior was someone else. In fact, I was alone at that warehouse, and with regard to Ta Dun, I heard about him, and he was elsewhere. End of quote. Free translation. So my objection a posteriori, and I'm sorry about this, well, is to say that if we have to submit the statements of a witness to the current witness here, well, in order to be fair, I think we should also submit to him the statements of the other witness before the chamber, especially since the chamber heard this witness, and therefore his statement is important in any case for the confrontation, and it has more value with regard to what the witness said, because he said this before the judges. So this is my objection. So the question that is put by the co-prosecutor is valid insofar that he also refers to a contrary statement that was made before the chamber by that witness.
ចេះទេបញ្ហាគឺ
President, the issue is that this is the debate and
no.
And if there is any contradictory statement between his current testimony and his previous statement, then the defense team should use their time to clarify that. As on the weight and value of the statement and the testimony, it is the Chamber's discretion to make that assessment. Deputy Co-Prosecutor, you may continue.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Witness, as I indicated, I want to give you a chance to respond to these two witness statements that talk about you. In E319/19.3.226, a witness who indicates he was part of the Longsword Group gave the following testimony in answers 4 and 6 of that interview. Question: do you remember the names of the people in the Longsword Group? Answer: yes. I remember some, including Doyne, who was the group chairman. Presently, he is probably living in Kamponsim district. His deputy On went to live in Khao Tush village. Another member correct that. Deputy Ann went to live in Khao Tush village. Another member was Choi, who is presently living in Chamkar Lu. And continuing in answer 6. My direct chairman was Doon, and as far as I knew, Doon received orders from commune chairperson Kane, who later was replaced by Peep, the wife of District Committee Khan. End of quote. Mr. Witness, was there a period in which you served as a group chairman of the Longsword unit?
answer. The interpreter cannot hear what the witness said.
Mr. Witness, can you repeat your answer? The interpreter wasn't able to hear you.
Yes, I was the chairman.
And was your deputy a person named Ann?
Yes, Anne was my deputy.
And what about the individual identified as Choi? Did you know a person named Choi who was Cha, who was in the Longsword group with you?
Yes, he was with me.
What about Tai Kim Hun? What was his position in the Longsword group?
I did not know about him.
You testified earlier today that one of the three groups of people that the Longsword Unit was ordered to arrest were Cham people. When orders were received to arrest Cham, were you ordered to arrest entire families of Cham, or were you only ordered to arrest specific individuals who were accused of some wrongdoing?
I forget all about this.
I understand, Mr. Witness, this is difficult to talk about. Let me read to you another excerpt from your OCIJ interview, E319/19.3.95, answer 34 of your interview. Quote, you stated, I quote, "For Lon Nol soldiers and new people, only men were arrested. As for the Cham people, men, women, and children were arrested." End of quote. Why were entire families arrested in the case of the Cham, but only individuals arrested in the case of new people or former Lon Nol soldiers?
I did not know about the reason behind their plan. I simply followed the order to make arrest.
And when you received orders to arrest the Cham, was the Longsword Unit ordered to arrest entire families, that is, men, women, and children?
Yes, we arrested both parents and their children.
And who was it that ordered the Longsword Unit to arrest both the parents and children?
The commune chief gave the order.
Did the commune chief say anything about why the Longsword Unit was being ordered to arrest both the parents and children in the case of the Cham people?
He told us that the order came from the upper echelon.
What was the upper echelon?
I did not know. It was simply what I heard from him. President, witness, please hold on. The floor is now given to Defense Counsel Victor Koppe.
No objection, just a clarification request. I hear the translation speak of he and him. I know in Khmer it's difficult to determine, but I presume the witness is talking about she and her and referring to a female.
Let me clarify. That was going to be my next question. The person who told you that the order came from the upper echelon, was this Peep, Khan's wife, who was commune chief for a period, or was this some other person?
Yes, it was Pip who told us about that.
Mr. Witness, to your knowledge, were there any Cham people left in Pim Chikong commune by the end of the Khmer Rouge regime?
No, there was none.
We have heard so far in this trial from a number of witnesses from your district who have similarly testified that all the Cham were arrested and killed after the arrival of the Southwest cadres, and that only one couple from Saksao village was able to survive. These witnesses have described, and one in particular from your commune, Seng Srun, have described how on one day all the remaining Cham in Pim Chikong commune, several hundred people, were arrested and taken to the gate at Wat Ocha Khan. For your honors, for the record, the reference to this testimony from Seng Srun is E1/346.1 at 10:47:40 to 11:02:18. Similar, we also heard from a witness from the adjoining commune, Angkor Ban commune, Seng Kui, who testified that he helped transport all the Cham people from his village to Wat Ocha Khan one night. I wanted to ask you whether you remember a single day or a short period of time in which many Cham people were gathered and sent to Wat Ocha Khan in your commune, Pim Chikong commune.
Witness, please wait, and Councillor Copper, you have the floor.
I object to the way this question is phrased, Mr. President. Obviously, we are in a potentially important part of this witness testimony. There's no reason why all of a sudden the prosecution should now feed him with information from other witnesses, true or false, and instead of asking him open questions first as to what he knows about the fate of the Cham after they were arrested, all of a sudden the prosecution is leaving the established practice of first asking open questions, because we know that in his WRI he said something to the effect that he has no knowledge whatsoever what happened to them after their arrest. So feeding him this information in order to try to persuade him to give an answer that is beneficial to the prosecution is a practice that should be disallowed.
If I may briefly respond, I think counsel misunderstands my question. My question is about arrests, not about killings. I've asked the witness open questions. We've had extensive questions about arrests. I'm nearing the end of my questions, and now I'm giving him an opportunity to respond to some of the specific evidence we've heard on the subject I've been asking him about. So I think counsel misunderstands what I'm asking the witness. I've already asked many open questions on the subject.
Very brief response. I did hear the word killing. Srai Sun speaks about mass arrest and killing. That word is now in the mind of this witness.
If I may proceed to put the question to the witness, I think his counsel's concern will be dealt with. My question to you is simply this, Mr. Witness. You've talked about arrests of the Cham. My question is, do you remember a period, either a day or a few days, in which hundreds of Cham were gathered in Phim Chikong commune and taken to Wat Ochakun.
No, I do not recall that.
Did you ever hear any reason, Mr. Witness, as to why the Longsword Unit was ordered to arrest Cham families and take them to Wat Ochakun? Did you ever hear from the commune chief, district chief, or any members of the Longsword Unit the reason for these arrests?
We were ordered to arrest those people, and no reasons were given to us.
Earlier in this trial, we heard from a witness from Angkor Ban commune, Seng Kui, at 10/17/48 of his testimony on the 10th of September 2015. This is document E1/345.1. This witness testified that when the Cham people were gathered and arrested in Angkor Ban, the commune security chief named Run stated, and I quote, "We will kill all the Cham people and we will not spare anyone," end of quote. Did you ever hear, Mr. Witness, of a plan to kill all the Cham people?
Yes, I heard of the plan that no single Cham shall be spared.
And who did you hear about that? Who did you hear from about this plan?
The commune told us about it.
And what do you remember? What was it? When you say the commune, are you referring to the commune chief, Peep?
Yes, it was PEEP, the commune committee.
And what do you remember Peep saying about this plan?
I cannot recall her words.
Mr. Witness, thank you for answering my questions. My colleague has a few questions for you.
National Deputy Co-Prosecutor, good afternoon, Mr. President, Your Honors, and everyone in and around the courtroom. My name is Song Chavon, Mr. Witness, and I have a few additional questions to put to you. You responded to my international colleague on the arrest of Cham people. My question to you is the following. While you were in the Longsword unit, how many orders did you receive for the arrest of the Cham people? Answer. I made arrest of Cham people for one time only. Question. So you yourself involved in the arrest of the Cham people once. Did you receive a verbal order or the order was in writing for that arrest? I refer to the list of names of people to be arrested. Answer: it was a verbal order. Question: who gave you a verbal order for the arrest of those Cham people? Answer: it was the wife of the district committee. Question: are you referring to Pip? Answer: yes, I referred to her. Question: can you recall the exact words when Pip gave you that order? Answer: she said the orders came from the upper echelon through the commune level, and then she relayed those orders to us. Question: can you tell us the exact words that Pip used when she gave you that order? Answer: the order was to arrest all the Chams within that village. Question: and upon receiving the order from Pip for the arrest of all Chams in that village, did you carry out the arrest immediately on that day? Answer: I can recall that it happened a long time ago. Question: now I move on to another area. I refer to the names of those people to be arrested, and you said that you could not read, and then you asked a member of the group to read the names to you. Can you recall who actually read out the names to you? Answer: it was the deputy. Question: what is the name of the deputy who read the names to you? Answer: it was Anne. Question: from whom did you receive the list of names? Answer: it came from the commune. Question: and for the implementation of the arrest of those whose names appeared on the list, did you go with your deputy and along with your members, or did you go only with your members without Anne? Answer: all the members went. There were 14 of us. President, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. I don't have any more questions for this witness. President, thank you. The floor is now given to the elite co-lawyers for civil parties to put questions to this witness. You may proceed.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Nous n'avons pas de questions.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have no questions.
President, thank you. And the floor will be now given to the defense teams. First, to the defense team for Anunchi to put questions to the witness. You may proceed, counsel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good afternoon, Mr. Witness. I have a few questions that I would like to pose to you this afternoon. Is my understanding correct that earlier this morning you testified that the total period of time that you were a member or even a chairman of the Longsword Militia was 2 months? You worked for the Longsword group for 2 months and then became a village chief? Is that my understanding?
Yes, that is correct.
And is my understanding, or let me rephrase, did you only work for a short period of time, 2 months, in the longsword group because you were appointed village chief and it was no longer possible to combine the two functions?
No, I could not do that. I did not see them. President Defense Council, please repeat your question. It seems that the witness doesn't understand your question.
Yes, I will try to make my question a bit simpler. You were a member for 2 months of the Longsword Militia. Did you quit your work at the Longsword Militia because you became a village chief?
Yes, I was appointed a village chief.
And the one-time arrest of Cham people that you refer to took place in those 2 months that you worked in the Longsword group. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
In those 2 months that you were a member of the Longsword group, did you make other arrests than Cham people?
No, the Cham arrest was the only arrest.
Do you recall how many people in total were subject to that arrest? In other words, that one and only arrest that you made, how many people were involved? How many people were arrested?
I did not know the total number of those who were arrested.
I understand that you don't know the total number exactly, but are you in a position to give an estimate as to how many people were arrested this one time that you were involved?
The arrest was carried out in various villages. I myself involved in the arrest in one village, while other people involved in the arrest in another village.
Let me concentrate on the arrest that you yourself were personally involved in. The arrest that you made in your village, how many people were involved?
There were chiefs, namely the group chiefs.
Maybe you misunderstood my question. My question is, how many people did you in your village personally arrest? How many people were arrested by you physically?
I cannot recall that.
Again, I don't expect you to give me an exact number, but you were only working for 2 months in the longsword group. You made only one arrest. Surely you'd be able to give us an estimate as to how many people you arrested.
I cannot remember it. I forget about it.
I presume you also forgot any of their names?
Yes, I forgot it all.
Did you know them personally? In other words, when you went into the village to physically arrest these people, did you know them beforehand? Did you know who they were?
Yes, I knew their names.
And did you know them from the village?
They were in the village.
And were they from the same village of which you later became, after 2 months, village chief?
I was transferred through Antung So.
So the people that you arrested in your capacity as a longsword member were not from the village of which, after 2 months, you became the village chief, correct?
That is correct.
Is it correct that after you arrested them, you then brought them to Wat Otakun and you left these detainees in the hands of the security guards at Wat Otakun?
I delivered them to those people at the gate.
And once you had delivered them, you went back to that same village or to somewhere else?
I returned to my place.
Have you seen or were you able to observe what the security guards subsequently did with the people you had just arrested?
No, I did not. And I was afraid and I did not dare to enter the area.
So the last time you saw the people you had just arrested was when you left them in the hands of the security guards. You never saw them afterwards. Is that correct?
I did not see them anymore, and I did not know what what those people did to them.
Were you or your fellow members of the Longsword Militia in any way involved in the killing of these people?
We worked together to carry out the arrest.
I understand, but were you or any of your group members involved in the subsequent alleged killing of this group of arrestees?
I was not involved.
Have you ever witnessed the killing of the group of people that you had just arrested?
No, I did not witness it.
Have you or any members of the Longsword group ever been involved in any killings of other people from the commune? In other words, other people than the people you had arrested?
No, my group was not involved. However, later on, the latter group did involved in this matter.
What exactly do you mean?
President, it seems that the witness doesn't understand your question, Council Corporal. Please rephrase your question and simplify it so that the witness is able to respond.
Well, my question was what exactly do you mean? So that's 5 words. My question, of course, referred to something he said before. But let me backtrack a little, maybe. My question was whether you or your group was ever involved in the killing of other people. So I'm not referring to the people you arrested, but to the killing of other people. Were you ever involved in that?
I did not know about that because later on I was no longer in the group and I was not involved in it, and I didn't know what happened later on.
Let me ask a more broader question. Have you ever witnessed with your own eyes anybody being killed either in your village or in your commune?
No, I did not witness it.
Now you spoke a little bit earlier about the order for the arrest of that one group that you were involved in. Is it correct when I say that if Peep has indeed given such an order, she had received an order from her husband?
She received the order from her husband.
Were you ever present during conversations between Peep and Khan, her husband?
អត់បានឮទេ
I did not hear.
Were you more specifically present when supposedly Khan gave the order to his wife Peep to arrest the people that you were involved in?
Peep instructed us to arrest, and I was fearful, so I simply followed the order to arrest.
I understand, Mr. Witness, but my question is, were you present in the room or somewhere during which Peep got the order from her husband Khan?
She called a meeting and told us about the arrest.
I understand, Mr. Witness, that it's clear to me. But when Peep got her orders from her husband, were you then present?
Yes, I was around there because my house is near theirs.
I'm not sure if you understand my question. Were you present during the conversation that Peep presumably might have had with her husband Khan in relation to the arrest of people with which you were involved?
They had a meeting of their own, so I did not know about the meeting between them. Only later on that she called us to have a meeting and relay about the order of the arrest to us that I knew.
Have you ever seen Khan speak to people of the sector, people who presumably might be superior to him?
I did not ever see them.
Were you at the time in a position to know from whom Khan received orders or instructions?
ខ្ញុំអត់បានដឹង
I did not know about this matter.
So is it then fair for me to say that the only person of authority to you was Peep, and that you had no knowledge where she got the order from?
I knew only that she received the order from the upper echelon, and that was it.
Fine, but you were not present when the upper echelon gave her the order. Is that correct?
The interpreter cannot hear what the witness has just said.
សាកសីឆ្លើយរួចហើយសំណួរច្រំដែលសាកសីមិនឆ្លើយទេ
President, the witness has already given answers to this, so the witness, you don't have to repeat your answer.
I'm a bit confused, Mr. President. There was no objection. I just wanted to get clarification as to his presence when quote-unquote upper echelon gave the order to Peep. I just wanted to have that confirmed. I think that's an important issue, and seeking clarification to have that confirmed, I think, is an appropriate question.
President, you talk about the meeting between at the upper level, at the district and commune level. The witness already gave answer to this. You can pose question, but you should avoid repeating the same questions.
Fine, I'll move on, Mr. President. Earlier this morning, Mr. Witness, you gave testimony in respect of the arrests of new people and people who were former Lon Nol military. Now, just a bit earlier, you said that you were involved in the arrest of people only once, and that was of Cham people. Can you explain to me how it is that you know about the arrests of new people or Lon Nol military? What's the source of your knowledge if you were involved in arrests only once?
From the commune level, they told us about that arrest.
I understand, but you just testified that during those 2 months you were involved in only one arrest. How do you have knowledge when it comes to arrests of former Lon Nol military?
President, Mr. Witness, please hold on. The floor is given to the International Co-Prosecutor. You may now proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. That question is completely repetitive of the question he just asked. He got an answer that he was told about those arrests by the commune. He's entitled, obviously, to follow up on that, but I don't think he's entitled to ask the same question again that the witness already answered.
I'm happy to rephrase. What is it that you were told by the commune in respect of the arrests of former Lon Nol military? What is it that you knew about this?
I simply follow the order from them. President, thank you, Council. It is now convenient time for break. The chamber will take a short break from now until 3 o'clock. Court officer, please find for this witness a proper place in the waiting room. And please bring him along with his duty counsel back to the courtroom at 3 o'clock. The court is now